Big history is an emerging academic discipline which examines history from the Big Bang to the present. It examines long time frames using a multidisciplinary approach based on combining numerous disciplines from science and the humanities, and explores human existence in the context of this bigger picture. It integrates studies of the cosmos, Earth, life, and humanity using empirical evidence to explore cause and effect relations, and is taught at universities and secondary schools, often using web-based interactive presentations. It is an academic movement spearheaded by historian David Christian of Australia's Macquarie University, who coined the term "big history", and is made of an unusual coalition of scholars. An early example of teaching big history is found in John F. Kennedy's famous speech at Rice University, where he explains 50,000 years of human history condensed into half a century. Some historians have expressed skepticism towards scientific history, and argue that the claims of big history are unoriginal. Comparison with conventional history. Big history examines the past using numerous time scales, from the Big Bang to modernity. It explores common themes and patterns. Courses generally do not focus on humans until more than halfway through, and, unlike conventional history courses, there is not much focus on kingdoms or civilizations or wars or national borders. If conventional history focuses on human civilization with humankind at the center, big history focuses on the universe and shows how humankind fits within this framework and places human history in the wider context of the universe's history. Unlike conventional history, big history tends to go rapidly through detailed historical eras such as the Renaissance or ancient Egypt. It draws on the latest findings from biology, astronomy, geology, climatology, prehistory, archaeology, anthropology, evolutionary biology, economics, cosmology, natural history, and population and environmental studies, as well as standard history. One teacher explained, "We're taking the best evidence from physics and the best evidence from chemistry and biology, and we're weaving it together into a story. They're not going to learn how to balance chemical equations, but they're going to learn how the chemical elements came out of the death of stars. And that's really interesting." Big history arose from a desire to go beyond the specialized and self-contained fields that emerged in the 20th century. It tries to grasp history as a whole, looking for common themes across multiple timescales in history. Conventional history typically begins with the invention of writing, and is limited to past events relating directly to the human race. Big historians point out that this limits study to the past 5,000 years and neglects the much longer time when humans existed on Earth. Henry Canberg sees big history as being a product of the information age, a stage in history itself following speech, writing, and printing. Big history covers the formation of the universe, stars, and galaxies, and includes the beginning of life as well as the period of several 100,000 years when humans were hunter-gatherers. It sees the transition to civilization as a gradual one, with many causes and effects, rather than an abrupt transformation from uncivilized static cavemen to dynamic civilized farmers. An account in the Boston Globe describes the conventional history view. Early humans were slump-shouldered, slope-browed, hairy brutes. They hunkered over campfires and ate scorched meat. Sometimes they carried spears. Once in a while they scratched pictures of antelopes on the walls of their caves. That's what I learned during elementary school, anyway. History didn't start with the first humans, they were cavemen. The Stone Age wasn't history, the Stone Age was a preamble to history, a dystopian era of stasis before the happy onset of civilization, and the arrival of nifty developments like chariot wheels, gunpowder, and Google. History started with agriculture, nation, states, and written documents. History began in Mesopotamia's Fertile Crescent, somewhere around 4000 BC. It began when we finally overcame our savage legacy, and culture surpassed biology. Anthony Dewar, reviewing On Deep History and the Brain by Daniel Lord Smale, 2007. Big history, in contrast to conventional history, has more of an interdisciplinary basis. Advocates sometimes view conventional history as microhistory or shallow history, and note that 3/4 of historians specialize in understanding the last 250 years while ignoring the long march of human existence. However, one historian disputed that the discipline of history has overlooked the big view, and described the grand narrative of big history as a cliché that gets thrown around a lot. One account suggested that conventional history had the sense of grinding the nuts into an ever finer powder. It emphasizes long-term trends and processes rather than history-making individuals or events. Historian Dipesh Chakrabarty of the University of Chicago suggested that big history was less politicized than contemporary history because it enables people to take a step back. It uses more kinds of evidence than the standard historical written records, such as fossils, tools, household items, pictures, structures, ecological changes and genetic variations.